Rimuru by Gajeel0828ch5. What's next? After they finished eating, they decided to leave and get some air because everyone was celebrating. They headed toward the edge of town where it was peaceful. There was an awkward silence for a while until Rimuru said, laughing, "I never thought that this would be the way this date went." "I know, right? I can't believe I said my feelings out loud," she said, embarrassed. "Yay, that was surprising." Another long awkward silence broke out as they continued out of town. They would look at each other, occasionally blush, then look away. They come to a hill and they sit under the tree that was at the top. After a long silence, Milim said, "Hey Rimuru, did you only think of this because I'm strong and I could be used to ward off enemies? Is that what you thought?" Milim looked away after hearing his question and remained silent. "I see. Though that's a plus, but the real reason I said yes was because I started to fall for you after the first date. And then when you kissed me I just fell that much harder even though I have zero dating experience." Milim, hearing this, blushed and was speechless for a minute. Then she thought of how the other demon lords would see her if she dated a mere Majin. "What about the other demon lords? I think our relationship will draw their attention, which could cause problems," Rimuru said, concerned. "Yay, that is a big problem. So do you think this isn't gonna work out between us?" "I don't know, Milim." "Oh, I know. Why don't you become a demon lord? Then there shouldn't be a problem with us being together." "That does sound nice, but I don't have an interest in becoming a demon lord because it could cause problems for my town as well." "I see, so we could keep our relationship hidden for now until we figure it out. How's that? I don't think the other demon lords would care if you acquired a friend. It will be an issue but not as big." Milim's face lit up. "So it can work." "Yep." Rimuru saw how happy she was and smiled and said, "How about we call it a night? You can stay here tonight if you want." "Huh? Really, would that be okay?" "I don't see why not. I'm sure no one would object." She took Rimuru up on her offer and they decided to head back. They walked past the place where everyone was at and saw that most of them were already out cold and the rest were dozing off. They started laughing when they saw Gabiru passed out on the counter and Shion still partying. After they checked up on they went towards Rimuru's place where they found Shuna and Benimaru at the door. "I see Lady Milim will be staying tonight," Shuna said. "I shall lead her to her room." Millim and Shuna started for the room after they say good night. Then Benimaru asked Rimuru if they could talk, so they headed outside to talk. "I understand y'all are now a couple, but don't you think that it will cause an issue?" Benimaru asked with concern. "We have put some thought into it. We decided to keep it under wraps for now, so if you can make sure it don't leave town I'd appreciate it." "As you wish, Lord Rimuru. I shall leave you now. I'm quite tired, so I'll go. Good night, Lord Rimuru." "Night." They both headed in for the night. That morning Rimuru found Milim in the kitchen with Shion and Shuna all dressed in aprons cooking breakfast. They all greeted him and all showed him the food they made him. Rimuru was faced with a difficult situation. Shion's food was by far the scariest, Shuna's was the best looking and Milim's looks a little overcooked. He didn't know what to do until he heard Gavda waking behind him. He got a spoonful of Shion's food and gave it to Gavda. Gavda fainted and laid there seemingly lifeless. "I told you to get Benimaru to approve of your food, Shion." "Oh, he was speechless, so I thought it was a yes." Rimuru sighed and then tried Shuna's. He was happy to taste something so good, but looked at Milim's. He got a spoonful of Milim's and slowly took a bite. He was shocked at how sweet it was. "What did you put in this, Milim? It's so sweet." "I put the stuff you gave me the first time we met in it," she said nervously. Rimuru knew he couldn't say the wrong thing, so he said that it was good, and seeing Milim light up with excitement made it worth tasting. Milim was truly happy for the first time, but she knew she couldn't stay forever. She then walked up to Rimuru and hugged him tightly. Rimuru was caught off guard but then hugged her back. "Will you come back, Milim?" "Of course, because I am in love with you, Rimuru." Ch6. Stars. Milim sets off to go meet with Frey. On her way she thinks of things her and Rimuru could do together when she gets back. She arrives at Frey's place where she runs into Clayman leaving. She wonders why he would be there but continues inside to meet Frey. "Hey Frey, I'm back." "Oh hello, welcome back, Milim. You appear to be in a great mood. I assume things went well." "Yes, it went great." They continue to talk. Milim tells her all her plans for when she sees him again. Frey laughs. The conversation continues for a few hours before Milim asked why Clayman was there. Frey paused for a minute and then said, I'll tell you later. Get prepared for your next trip to see him. Okay, Milim said with a smile. Maybe you can come visit one day. One day. Frey said with a slight smile. A few days later she gets ready to see Rimuru, then goes and says bye to Frey and sets off. She wonders what Rimuru has been up to. She then thinks of the new food he could have came up with. She arrives to the outside of town where she runs into Geld again. He's working on the road when he notices Milim. Oh, good to see you, Aegean lady Milim. What was his name again? She thought. I am sorry I don't quite remember your name, she said nervously. Oh, it's fine, I never said it. My name is Geld. Oh, that's a wonderful name. Indeed, but I assume you are here for Lord Rimuru. She nodded happily. You will probably find him at the diner. He was dead set on making new foods you would like. Oh yay, she said happily. Well, I'll see you later, Geld. Bye. Geld smiles and waves as she heads toward Rimuru. She hears an explosion and heads in that direction when she sees a group threatening the goblins. She gets angry and approaches them. How dare you hurt Rimuru's people, she yells while dashing at him. They look over to defend, but it's too late. Milim punches the one in the middle in the face and sends him flying. Rimuru comes running in to see Milim attack the strangers. Before he could say anything he sees Rigurd with a bad injury on his face. He heals Rigurd and asks what happened. He explains and says Milim was defending them. I see. Hey Milim, let's calm down. Milim hears him and calms down. She walks to him and started explaining. It's fine Milim, I heard what happened. He looks to the new people and tells them to follow. They head to the conference room to discuss why they were there. Their meeting continues for a while. Milim gets angry at the disrespect towards Rimuru, but Rimuru calms her. So you serve Demon Lord Carrion. How about you tell him to set up an appointment and come in person before you put him in a war he doesn't want to be in. The one who got punched was completely furious, but the other two convinced him to leave. As they leave he stares at Milim and thinks, I'll make her pay for that. When they leave, Rimuru turns to Milim. Thank you for defending them. Milim was shocked to hear this. She thought he was gonna be mad cause she picked a fight. Anyway, since you're here, want to go try some new desserts I came up with? She heard this and her face lit up. Of course, she said, exited. They headed to the diner. Sue stopped by and Rimuru asked him to look out for any sketchy things in the area. They continue to walk and talk until they reach the diner. They spend most of the night there trying out many new foods. They laugh throughout the night and then they go out for a walk. They find themselves outside of town on a hill under a tree. They sit under the tree looking at the stars. Hey Rimuru, have you thought of becoming a demon lord? Huh? Where did that come from? I just don't want to have to keep our relationship a secret. I will put some more thought into it because I don't want to hide our relationship either. As they sit under the tree, she lays her head on Rimuru's shoulder. Rimuru smiles and leans on her. Hey Rimuru, can we stay like this for a while? Sure, he said with a smile. They sit there with their eyes closed for a while, eventually falling asleep under the stars. Milim wakes up to find her head on Rimuru's leg with his coat over her. She looks up to see Rimuru still asleep. She smiles and puts her hand on his face. I love you, Rimuru Tempest.